Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to be showing you how you can connect a variety of different speakers and headphones to your Nintendo Switch. So some of them are going to be wired, some are wireless, some are Bluetooth, but we can get them all to work with the Nintendo Switch, but sometimes we need to buy additional equipment to make them work with it. So if we have a look at the top of the Nintendo Switch, you will see that it has got a 3.5mm headphone jack that we can just plug wired headphones into. So this is ideal if, for example, you're sitting on the train and you can just use your little headphones out of there into your ears. But let's say now if we're docked and we want to connect something up to it to either boost the sound to make it louder, or possibly even if we were using maybe a monitor with a DVI connection, then we're not going to get sound through there, so we need a way of getting sound out of the Nintendo Switch so we can use it. So let's start easy and then get more and more complicated as we go through. Right, to begin with, the easiest thing, like I said before, is just to plug in your headphones straight into there, and then that's going to obviously make the sound come out of the headphones here. But let's say if we're going to be sitting a little bit of a distance away, then it's nice and simple. All you need to do is buy yourself a very cheap 3.5mm extension lead, which is a male to female. This one here is about a 1.2 meter one, but you can get them, as long as you want. 10 meters will not be a problem. It will still work absolutely fine. So you would just plug in the extension lead into there, and then you will plug your other into there, and the Nintendo Switch will recognize it as headphones, because when you plug it in you will see the symbol will come up here as a headphone. There you go. Right, so obviously that's the easiest way. Now let's say if you wanted to use some wired gaming headsets like this one here. This is from Turtle Beach. Again, really straightforward. You either plug it straight into the Nintendo Switch, or you just plug it into the end of the extension lead like so. Now, the thing with this is the sound will come through here no problem, but you will not be able to use this for any kind of chat, or you won't be able to use it as a microphone. So you can leave it plugged in or unplug it. It will make no difference. It will just work as normal headphones. Now, everything I do today is only going to be working for sounds. Nothing will work for the microphone into the Nintendo Switch. Right, okay, so if, for example, I was go to Mario Kart here, there we go. So now if you have a listen there, you'll be able to hear the sound coming through here. Okay, so obviously they're the easiest ones, and everybody probably already knows about the fact that you can just plug headphones straight into the Switch. But let's say now if we wanted to plug in something like this unit here. So let me just go back to the home page so we don't have to listen to that music. Right, these here are some gaming headsets. And normally on your Xbox or PlayStation, you would plug one of them into the USB to give this power, and then you would plug this. This is a digital optical cable. So this is a Toslink cable. So for example, the ones that send the red light through. So basically, you can connect this up to your Nintendo Switch, but you will have to buy an adapter to make this work. Now you can get adapters like this. They're £10 from places like Amazon and eBay. And this is an analog audio to digital converter. So we're converting an analog signal, which is the headphone jack here, into a digital signal that this thing here will be able to understand. So the most common one you get is actually digital to analog. This one is actually more rare. It's an analog to digital, so make sure you buy the correct one, because if you buy digital to analog, it's not going to work, because like I just said, the headphone jack is analog. So what we have to do is, it comes with the leads to connect it all up. Basically, it's got one power lead here that you plug in there. That just needs to be plugged into a USB power adapter. So for example, I've got a couple of old USB adapters lying around from old phones from years ago, so I'm just going to be using these to connect it up. And then what you will do is on the input you will have either you can make it go to twin phonos, so they're RCA connectors, or you see there's a little 3.5 jack there, and this side here is the input. So if you have a look there, it will say input. You can see input audio right and left. So it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to be using a 3.5mm lead from here straight into the Nintendo Switch. Now on this end here we're going to have to plug the Toslink in to the output here. So this one here is the optical out. So if you have a look here, it will say output optical, or you can also have a coaxial out. But in this instance, I'm going to be using the optical. So I'm just going to plug that in like there. And now we need to give this power as well to make this work. Now we have got USB ports on the side of the Nintendo Switch, and we've also got a USB 3 port down at the back as well. Now unfortunately, when you connect up both devices, so let me just get this right, I want to connect up this device here, which is part of the headphone. This is the sender for the 2.4 gigahertz signal. When I plug that in there, that's fine. But then you can see now it's wanting to pair up, and if I was to turn on my headphones here, then that should go to blue. So now they're paired up, but yet I haven't got any sound into this yet because I need to plug this audio analog to digital converter in. You would think that I would be able to plug this into the Nintendo Switch, and I can do, and it does work, but there's a really annoying hum on it. It's a hum that is actually so off-putting you wouldn't really be able to use it. So what we have to do is we have to plug this into a different source. So we can't plug this into the Nintendo Switch because for some reason it's interfering with this. I don't know whether it's something to do with a ground loop or something, but it is interfering. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it in via a little USB adapter that I've got, and then I'm just going to plug that into a power point, and that's going to provide power into this here. So let me plug that in over here, like so. Okay, so now I've got power into this little converter, and lastly I need to get the sound into the converter. So I'm going to be using a 3.5mm lead from the headphone jack of the Nintendo Switch in to the audio in of the converter. So let's just run through what we've got here. The sound comes out of the Nintendo Switch via the headphone jack cable, and it goes into the analog side of the converter. The converter's got power from the USB adapter over there, and this converts it from analog to digital. The digital signal is coming out via this cable here, and as you can see we've got the red light shining through there, and the digital signal goes in to this 2.4 gigahertz transmitter here, which is also powered, but this time this is powered from the USB port on the Switch, and then that's connected up to here. I don't have to power it from a Switch, I can power this from another USB adapter, but it's just easier for me to plug it into the Switch. Right, okay, so now that will provide the sound through to the headphones here. Now, if, for example, you were doing this on a TV, I'm doing this on a monitor, so there's no USB ports on the monitor, but if you were doing this on a TV, you would also find that the TV would normally have USB ports. So instead of plugging this into the USB adapter, you can plug the converter in to the back of the TV, and then the idea is you can hide this all out of the way, and then nothing has to be on display, and then all you have to do is when you want to have it working on the headphones, so for example if you're using this late at night and you don't want to wake everybody up, then all you've got to do is just plug in that and it will start working on here. So now if I was to go to Mario Kart again, right, so now if you have a listen on here you will be able to hear it coming out through these headphones. Okay, and again we've got volume here that we can control with, so we've got game and chat. Well, obviously the chat's not going to make a blind bit of difference, but if we were to lower it down here then it will get quieter. So that's louder and quieter. Okay, so that's them coming through there. So what would be a good idea is just to keep the volume on full on the actual Nintendo Switch and then control the volume via the headset here. Now when you're going through these adapters it does make the volume quieter. So right now this is on absolute full and it's pretty loud, but it's not going to blow your ears off. So you are going to start to lose volume as you start to go through these little adapters. Right, so that's how to use one of your gaming headsets here. Again, like I said earlier, there's no point in connecting the microphone to it because it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. Now, okay, let's say if we wanted to do it in, let's say if we want to do it in handheld mode and we want to give it some extra boost. So we want to use a Bluetooth speaker rather than relying on the little speakers you get in the Nintendo Switch. Although the speakers are absolutely fine, we want a little bit more power to it. So let's undock the Nintendo Switch and unplug everything out of it. So you can see the volume's coming through to here again. So let me just get out of that menu. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use Bluetooth devices with it. Now unfortunately the Nintendo Switch doesn't work with Bluetooth devices. Again, we need to buy something else to make it work. And that thing is this little Bluetooth transmitter here. So these Bluetooth transmitters are around £18 from eBay and Amazon, and you need to make sure you buy a transmitter and not a receiver, because we're going to be transmitting the signal from the Nintendo Switch out towards our speakers and Bluetooth headphones. So it's nice and simple to do. The pairing up is done between this and the Bluetooth equipment, and then all we do is just plug it into the Nintendo Switch to make it work. So first of all, I'm just going to pair it up with these headphones here, and then I'll do the speaker at the very end. So to pair it up, all I'm going to do is press on, and then I'm going to hold it down, and you'll see it will go to blue as it turns on, and then as I keep holding it down it will go into pairing mode, which should be red and blue. So I'm just going to hold it on now, and after a few seconds it will start flashing blue, and now a few seconds after that it will go red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So that is now in pairing mode. Now I'm going to turn on the Bluetooth headphones, and as I turn these Bluetooth headphones on it's going to start flashing blue and red, and that's going to be in pairing mode. So hopefully now after about 30 seconds or so these two will pair up to each other. I'll fast forward through this bit. Okay, so it looks like they've paired up now. So all I have to do is plug this in to the Nintendo Switch, the 3.5mm jack again. Now there's not a lot of weight to this, so you're not going to do any damage by that just hanging down there, because the pressure is more on the strain relief on the actual 3.5mm jack itself rather than on the Nintendo Switch. And now if I was to move around the place, yeah, I can now hear it coming through. So again, let me go into Mario Kart, and this is really loud now. There's no loss of volume here at all. So if you have a listen there, you can hear it really coming through there loud, and you can control the volume via the headphones. So I'm lowering it down now. There you go, and now make it louder, and that's maximum. And you can hear it's nice and loud. Right, okay, so that's the how to connect up the Bluetooth headphones. Now let's say if we want to connect up the Bluetooth speakers, because we might want it to have it louder than what the actual Nintendo Switch can provide. So I'm just going to turn these off. Okay, so they're now off, and now what I'm going to do is turn on this Bluetooth speaker. Right, okay, so I need to put this into pairing mode. Right, so right now I've got the flashing blue light, so that's in pairing mode. So again, I'm just going to unplug this, and I'm just going to put this into pairing mode again. First of all, I'm just going to turn it off. Right, so that's now off, and now again, turn it on. And after the blue light, it will start flashing blue and red, so that's in pairing mode, so hopefully these two will now pair up with each other. There we go, so now they've paired up with each other. Now, if you don't want to use this adapter, obviously you can just use a little 3.5mm cable if your speaker has one. So this is the aux in, so you can use 3.5mm cable from here straight into the headphone jack again. And then everything will be coming through the speaker, and this will be a lot more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. But I'm just showing you the Bluetooth option here. So when I plug that in there like so, you can hear now that I can... Yeah, so that's going to be a lot louder than what the Nintendo Switch can do. And obviously you can just control the volume from here. Yep. So that's that there, and just to show you the 3.5mm cable working as well, if we were to unplug the Bluetooth transmitter and just plug in a normal 3.5mm cable, you see that that works as well. Yeah? Okay. There we go. So that's different ways of connecting up various things to the Nintendo Switch. Just to reiterate, this thing costs around £18, and that analog to digital converter that I showed you earlier costs about £10. So yeah, it's not ideal. It's a shame that you can't just connect up things because the Bluetooth's already built into the Nintendo Switch. It's a shame that you can't just connect up other Bluetooth devices, but you know, they haven't allowed it at the moment anyway. So you are forced to buy something else if you're desperate to connect up other Bluetooth equipment to it. So I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if it helps you out, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.